Hi, Bruce Johnson, founder and CEO of BizScalers and the BizScalers Club, and today I want to talk to you about the 4 keys to growing a faster and more scalable business. The 4 keys to growing a faster and more scalable business. Do you ever get frustrated and kind of overwhelmed with all of the different ideas that you have read about or heard about to be able to grow your business, so you just get stuck? When you think about all the articles you've read, whether they're blog posts or articles in magazines, you think about all the webinars that you've attended or the conferences you've attended, you think about all the different ideas that you've heard from other business owners and entrepreneurs and the books that you've read, and you put all those ideas together, sometimes it just gets overwhelming, doesn't it? And what tends to happen when we get overwhelmed? Well, we tend to get stuck. We get frozen and we don't take action, and then we're trying to figure out, why isn't my business growing? Well, what I want to do is get rid of all of that complexity for you, because the solution to complexity is almost always simplicity. When you've got 50 or 75 or 200 different ideas, you've got to narrow those down and figure out what are the handful of ideas that can actually be implemented that can actually help you grow your business faster and make it more scalable. So what I want to do is take all of the decades of experience that I have and all the decades of experience of coaching, consulting other businesses, and say, if I were to take all those ideas and narrow them down and say, what are the handful of things that you need to focus your attention on? These would be the 4 things with a bonus 5th, because I actually like 5s. So to help you see this, I'm going to zoom in now onto a piece of paper, and you're going to be introduced to the BizScalers model. And when you see this, you'll be able to not only download it, but you'll be able to use this for as long as you're running a business. So let's take a look at the BizScalers model. As you can see here, there are now 4 things that you need to focus in on if you want to be able to grow and scale a great business. You need to focus on growth, people, operations, and cash. And you put the verb in front of it. We need to be focused in on driving growth, leveraging people, improving operations, and then increasing cash. Those are the 4 things. And then there's the bonus 5th, as you can see off to the side, which is you, because you're both the primary driver and the primary bottleneck of your business's growth. But you are not the business. That's one of the mistakes a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs make, is they tend to think that they're the business. No, you're separate from the business, so that's why we have it off to the side. But you're pretty important to the business, so it needs to be part of the model. So there are 4 things you need to focus in on for the business itself, and then you've got the bonus 5th one, which is about you. So let's take a look at this. So out of all the things that you need to do on a regular basis, if you were to just narrow it down on a weekly or monthly or quarterly basis and say, what do I need to do? These would be the 4 things. So let's start with growth. Growth almost always is related to one of 3 things. It's either related to strategy, to marketing, or sales. So if you're to look at your agenda for this week or this month or this quarter, and you say, okay, what do I need to do to drive growth? Pick one idea. Maybe we need to focus on a strategic change this quarter or this month or this week. Or I need to focus in on something with marketing, or maybe it might be sales. Pick one thing and say, this month, this quarter, or this week, I'm going to focus in on this one thing to drive growth. It simplifies everything. You don't have to worry about all the ideas. You just need to pick one to drive growth. So let's say it might be, I need to work on developing a predictable marketing machine over the next 90 days. Great. Now I know what my marching orders are for the next 90 days. Forget everything else. I just need to do that one thing. So it's first about growth. Secondly, it's about people and how do you leverage people. And that's always a leadership issue, along with recruiting talent and then developing that talent. Now, leadership is always about producing results through other people. So one of the things that people forget in leveraging people is the development part. But you ought to be thinking on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, what am I going to be doing to develop those people so that when they're more productive, I'm going to get better results, which is really what leadership is all about. So every week, month, or quarter, what I need to do to leverage people. Not that hard. So it's driving growth and it's leveraging people. The third thing you need to focus in on then would be improving operations. So when it comes to operations, it almost always comes down to one of 3 things. It's a management issue, a systems issue, or it's a fulfillment issue. So I'm looking at this week or this month or this quarter, and I'm saying, okay, what do we need to do on the operations side? Do we need to work on improving our management? Do we need to work on improving our systems? Do we need to work on fulfillment? So fulfillment might be like customer service. How are you going to deliver on the promise? How do we fulfill that? So maybe it's a customer service issue that you know is a problem. We got to fix that this week or this month or this quarter. Or it might be, some systems that you need to put in place so that now you have predictability in your business. But whatever it is, you just pick one thing this week or this month or this quarter on operations. Makes it very simple. So what are we going to do to drive growth? What are we going to do to leverage people? What are we going to do to improve operations? And the fourth then would be in the area of cash. So when it comes to cash, do we need to improve our cash conversion cycle? Do we need to do something to gain access to new capital? Do we need to do something this week to reduce expenses, or this month, or this quarter? And that's it. It makes it so simple, doesn't it? There are just four things to focus in on: driving growth, leveraging people, improving operations, or four, increasing cash. That's it. Out of all the ideas, just narrow it down to that. And every week, every month, every quarter, keep in alignment with those four things, and you'll build a much faster growing and a much more scalable business. And then you want to add the bonus one, which will accelerate all of this, which is about you. And when it comes down to you, there are four things you want to focus in on. Your mindset, because how you think influences everything in your company. Your productivity influences your time, your skill set, and your knowledge base. So if you focus in on those four things and you add those to the other issues about growth, people, operations, and cash, you can build a very scalable business, and one that will grow much faster than it has been in the past. So get rid of overwhelm, get rid of complexity, simplify everything, and focus in on these four things, and you're going to build a great company. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, then I encourage you to subscribe by whatever means you're watching or listening to this. If you're on YouTube, subscribe there. If you're listening by podcast, hit the subscribe button there. If you found it helpful, pass it along to some other business owners and entrepreneurs. And if you want, make a chance to check out our BizScalers Club at scalingclub.com, scalingclub.com. Until next week, to your accelerated success, Bruce out.